Okay. I'm logging in a Samskriti U. Let's see, it doesn't matter. So let's do the connecting the dots. Okay. So how many of you, does anybody want to share what the intent of this game is? Priya, you want to go? Or Pardeep?
I think they wanted to talk about, the progression on where you start and how you eventually reach that level of realization, and the different steps you would take. That's how I understood it. Actually, it was not very clear, but I thought they wanted to show you in what steps you would get there, and the order is you're supposed to expect it to get it right. And I think I got 3 right the first time, so next time I tried to shuffle things around, but it just got worse. But each step was independent in itself, so I couldn't see how one had to lead to the other, but each was a very good path to take, and each step was independent in itself, in my opinion.
Okay, excellent. Parthiv, who all played it? Who all played the game? Okay, you just played. And then Tarini, did you play? Or Ritika, did you play? Ritika, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, my mic. I just pressed it. Yeah, I did it at right after last time's class, but I don't remember my score.
I see. And then Parthiv, did you get a chance to play?
I didn't.
What was your score?
No, I didn't get to play.
I see. Okay. So what we're going to do is, this is about connecting the dots. When you try to start a company, there are a set of 12 steps. So what the game actually starts is, you need to start from, when you start a company, there is like a path. There are like 12 steps from starting a company to how we build a successful business, right? And then it talks about what are some of the core values, what are the things that we need to consider in building a company. And then the game is all about sequence the right steps. So in each step, there is a card that gets presented, and you need to go review all the cards. And then we need to go back and then figure out which card is the first one, first step. It's kind of an order. It's kind of a path of the journey, right? And then there is a magic here. So let's actually see. So the first one, so let's actually review the cards, and then let's all figure out what it actually means. Okay. The first card, it says, learning is ordinary and teaching is extraordinary. Remember we saw this character, the magic entrepreneur, XO. What does XO mean? Extraordinary. For an entrepreneur, we just have to be a little bit extraordinary than the rest of the people. So we all have that XO kind of a thing. So now everybody is doing learning, but teaching is extraordinary. Why teaching is extraordinary? Exactly. In fact, for us to be a better student, we need to become a teacher, because for you to be able to go share something, you need to know the essence really, really well. So in fact, one of the best things to do is sign up for teaching a class, then you actually become an expert in it, right? Because you need to be able to articulate your understanding, your essence. So in an entrepreneur, when you have an idea, when you're doing it, you have to be able to communicate it. You have to be able to teach it to your employees, to your investors, to everybody, to articulate it. So it's not just about understanding what your problem you're trying to do. How do you articulate it? How do you share it with others is an extraordinary. Okay, that is the first card. And then next one, being successful is ordinary. Being happy and making others happy is extraordinary. Right? Anybody wants to share what this means? Being successful is ordinary. Being happy and making others happy is extraordinary.
It could be on, using your success for the benefit of others, maybe towards social causes, or even grooming their talent and helping them grow along with you, helping them become entrepreneurs on their own self. Basically, not just look about succeeding yourself, but sharing that joy, or creating that joy for others too.
Yeah, makes sense. Anybody else? Being successful is ordinary, but being happy and making others happy is extraordinary. So in other words, what is success for us? The success is making other people successful around us is a true success. Otherwise, what happens? You will have your success, you will have your own buildings and this stuff. But if the people around you are suffering, you haven't really succeeded. The real cause of an entrepreneurship is actually building a product that creates excellence and making others happy. Right? That's how a successful entrepreneurship is. Right? And then having thoughts is ordinary. Finishing those thoughts in style is extraordinary. Having thoughts is ordinary. Finishing those thoughts in style is extraordinary. What does this mean?
A lot of people have ideas like, I could do this, I should do this, this could be like this, but what difference does it make if you don't act on it?
Love it. That's exactly right. A real entrepreneurship is not about just keeping all these things in the chatter. It's only when you translate these thoughts to something about an action. That is extraordinary. Otherwise, a lot of people, we hear, I remember this one conversation. So I was invited by my alma mater in India, NIT Warangal, where I was one of the judges to listen to all the startup ideas from all the students. And then there was a couple of guys, they used to come, and then they basically says like, Srini, we have like 5 ideas. And then they used to actually take a small chit. And then it's like, I have a lot of ideas. And then I basically said, there is no discipline. This is not what just about having an idea with a one-liner. You have to embellish that idea. Start building the business plan. Start building a prototype. What did we learn from the first lesson? Adam Lansing, he had a thought about, I want to build an electric car. And what did he do about it? He actually collected a $500 junkyard car. He started remodeling. He started learning about the batteries. He started doing, and he finally built a car. That's when you start actually putting your thoughts into action, then the universe supports you. Universe supports you in making you successful. So one of the core skills that we need to do is not just keep everything in your thoughts. You have to translate that into action. Love it. And the next card, feeling good about the work that you did is ordinary. Others feeling good because of the work you did is extraordinary. You all agree with this? Right? It's the entrepreneurship is not about, you build something and you feel good about it. The impact on others. What is a beautiful choice of words. Anybody else on the Zoom? Parthiv, Ritika? Any other comments? Feeling good about the work you did is ordinary. Others feeling good because of the work that you did is extraordinary. Any other thoughts? Okay. Now, you caring for your customer is ordinary. Your customer caring for you is extraordinary. Your customer caring for you is extraordinary. Why is that?
Srini, I don't want to hog all the limelight. I want to leave the young people talk, so I'm not going to say much more.
Sorry. One clarification. There is no limelight here, but nobody is in the limelight. We are all collectively shading. So, but
But
please.
they're so young, and I want to hear from them. For this alone, I want to add something because I'm also in the consulting line of work. So I think when if you're given an initiative, or if you even start your own business or whatever, when you create a product that's made a huge difference to your customer base, they look out for your well-being as well. It's I think if your service was so impactful, that is when the customers think about you sustaining and you doing well, and that means that you've done a excellent job. You've gone beyond the call of duty and delivered and made a difference.
Thinking from a business perspective, businesses always value the customer relationship. So if you have a good relationship with your customer, it means that they will come back to you as a customer and you can be more successful in business.
That's correct. And in fact, as both of you said, when you customer own your own well-being as a company, that means, you have created such an impact, made a difference, created an experience for them that they cannot live without. And then they want you to be successful. I'll tell you an example. Before I joined Apple, we built this company called Sky High Networks. It's a cloud security. And at that time, a lot of customers wanted to move into the cloud, but they were concerned about the security. And we were the first ones to actually create this cloud security solution. I remember our customers, this has happened to me in many stages of the startups that I did, but this is more recent experience. I used to remember Marna Soto, who was at the time CISO for one of the big telecommunication carrier. And she used to go in front of all audience at the security conference and RSA with the analysts. And she's like, go Sky High. All of you should get Sky High networks. All of you should, go into the cloud security, just like how we did. So instead of me going and telling everybody, it's your users sharing their successes and then them rooting for you. They owned our success. They owned our success. And in fact, Jim Rout, who used to be one of the biggest CISO for Aetna and CVS, he used to literally go after our customers and the prospects and says like, you should get this. So when you're building a customer, when your customers own your success, that's when you actually become an extraordinary entrepreneur. Otherwise, you're always saying like, I'm good, my product is good, and this stuff, right? But it's about your customers owning your business. That's what
Srini, I think about the idea that as an entrepreneur, we want our customers to be satisfied, right? That seems like the level of expectation. We want a satisfied customer, but actually satisfied customers are probably the lowest form of a customer that's, they're happy with us. They like us. They're satisfied, but they're not loyal. You can be loyal to a store, or you can be satisfied with the store. You might be satisfied with Target's sales and their service, but if Walmart across the street has something 10% cheaper, you're going to go across the street. You're not loyal. And what you have on that slide there, to me, seems like customer loyalty. You're creating raving fans. Those raving fans are there spreading the word for you. And that's what when a customer starts caring about your business, that really is extraordinary. And it's the highest level of satisfaction.
Right. I think it's even beyond loyal. And in fact, they become stakeholders of your business. In other words, when they feel like, they are the owner of your business, right? Lawyer is still about, they want to buy your products and then they recommend. But when they own the success, when they are willingly, is like, how can I help you? What can I do for you? I remember
I just want to add a little example, Srini. During COVID, a lot of businesses went out of, they had to shut doors, right? So here in Toronto, we witnessed it on a lot of blogs and so on. There are some businesses for which people were saying, please, continue to place online orders with them, because this is, we want to keep this alive and for them to resume operations once this is over. So which means some of these small businesses have done, they've really won over people, that people feel the need to go and write on Twitter and to promote them, to keep them going. So I think that's one example we can relate to.
Yeah. So then the next one is, you working for money is ordinary. Money working for you is extraordinary. Anybody wants to offer any insight? You working for money is ordinary. Money working for you is extraordinary.
Everyone works for money, so
Sorry?
everyone works for money. It's just some people that like their own bosses and stuff.
And any other insight?
I'm trying to like look at it based on the guy. So let's say that instead of the guy like holding up all his money and stuff, you see the ideas are going in there or something.
I guess like when you have like, so instead of working like a normal day job and stuff like that, when you have like this many ideas that like are a driving force and money just automatically follows you around. It's like, I guess like when you have the goal of just working for money, it's ordinary. But when you're working for like another purpose, then money just follows you automatically.
That's exactly right. one thing is money is just a resource, right? Why are we need to look at the motive of why we want to become an entrepreneur. Is it because, we want to get millions of dollars or billions of dollars? At the end of the day, the money is just one resource. What are we going to do with money? It's about the sense of fulfillment. Did we actually create an experience that changed people's lives, that made a difference to people's lives? In that, money is just one of the tools. It's a resource and it's a byproduct, but it's not the ultimate goal. Right? We have seen a lot of people who have billions of dollars, but at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Is your lifestyle is going to change? Not that much. And we're going to, perhaps in the next session, we're going to talk about Mihal's flow theory, one of the concepts of how we need to conduct ourselves in the entrepreneurship ride. But again, don't be in the aspirations of money as the ultimate end goal. Money is just a resource and money is a byproduct. You need to be so passionate about the idea and the experience and how it's going to make a difference to the people's lives. And that's the genesis should be for a thing, for an idea. And if somebody wanted to say, it's like, hey, I did a startup and I made $700 million or some stuff. But what did you create? Show me how this product has made how this experience has made a difference to people's lives. So that's the next step. And then knowing your strengths is ordinary. Others knowing your strengths and wanting to utilize them is extraordinary. You knowing your strengths is extraordinary. Others knowing your strengths and wanting to utilize them is extraordinary. Anybody?
And others sense that passion and skill in you to create something with a purpose to make a difference, and they reach out as they see you as a resource, as a tool, a person who can drive this transformation and want to recruit you. Recruit you is as in not only in the monetary sense. I mean, recruit you to lead or to drive or to work on an initiative. That shows that your passion is shining through, or your skills are shining through. And I think that's extraordinary. Because more often than not, we go looking out for opportunities. But if somebody wants to hire us, that's a big thing.
So one aspect, thank you, Priya. What this means is just having your skills within you is just not right. You're just a force in the universe. It means you need to be able to express them. You need to make them available. Others people need to do the way your communication skills, your leadership skills, your business skills. If you just sit at one place and then there's like, I have these great ideas, I have all these business plans and I have all these things. That means you are just working by yourself. It's when you express themselves, in your actions, in a communication skills and leadership skills, prototypes, and then you need to allow them to be reached in the service of the others. Otherwise, people are not going to come and look for you. It's only when you actually express them, by building the right skills. And then others will know you as a brand, as a force. And then they would want to come work for you. They would want to invest in you. And then it doesn't matter. Or you could just be part of another team. If you have an idea, if other people are actually prosecuting the same idea, then they would want to do it. One of the tools, how many of you have a resume? Good, excellent. That is one of your expressions. How many of you have a personal website? I see. What is the thing? In your school, you have a website for you?
Oh, no. We have a new portfolio, so not like a website.
How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Good. So one exercise that I would have all of you is, all of you should have a LinkedIn profile, right? All of you should have a LinkedIn profile. It's about what you think of yourself. How do you want to communicate it to the world? It's only, the interesting thing is, this world is nothing but is like a marketplace. There are a lot of people looking for people like you, people who are passionate. See how many of the youth, the kids, on a beautiful Sunday want to come and sit in a small room and want to learn about entrepreneurship. That means you're so unique. And you need to be able to communicate this, that you are passionate, you want to be part of creating something new. And you need to be able to figure out how to express. World know about this. The world is the universe. Then they will come look for you. They're already looking for you. It's just that they don't know where Samskriti is, where Vedamshi is, where all these kids are. So we just need to advertise them. It's not advertisement. You just have to express them and then just keep it the way it is. Right? And that is what is the communication skills. How do you represent yourself authentically in a way that people would want to come and work for you? And it's not just about you. It's about your company. It's about your team. Right? So that is being extraordinary. And then the next one is, I'm going to quickly do this. Acquiring knowledge is ordinary. And then applying knowledge in multiple times, in multiple ways is extraordinary. Because most of the time we listen everything and then it just stays as a theoretical thing. In fact, we just need to, every piece of information that we have, as we covered in the last thing, sight to insight to outcomes. It's only when a piece of information that you acquire, a knowledge, when you can map it to creating an outcome, how you can, to create a better world. Otherwise, it's just a theory. It's like a scripture that is written on the wall. You need to be able to apply it. That is entrepreneurship. And then desire without direction is ordinary. Desire with direction is ordinary. Because we always need to have a focused direction where you're trying to do. As an example, when we looked at Adam, he wanted to become famous, wanted to do something, but he has a direction. It's like he wanted to make something in the electrical automobiles or electric vehicles. And then he was prosecuting all experiments from cars to tractors and other equipment, but he has a direction and it's a purpose. And then the next one is being energetic is ordinary, energizing others. Just like we should be almost like infectious. We should inspire others. And that's one of the things. How do people want to come work for you? It's only when you exude that exuberance and energy so that people actually want to follow you. So when we listen to Elon Musk, what does he do? We all want to go work for that Elon Musk, right? It's like the way he's like going to space and digging tunnels and electric wars. And I was like, wow, I want to go work for this. Or have Elon come work for us. Wouldn't it be better to actually hire Elon Musk to come and work for us? Who would want to have Elon Musk as our employee? Exactly. I would want to have Elon Musk work for me. Right? I can actually put him on a YEC project. He needs it actually. And the next one is innovation in general is ordinary. Innovation based on human values. This is where the world is suffering right now. A lot of creative ideas are coming in, but it's being applied to actually realizing just a narrowed gain, building wealth for some selected people. But this is where we also need to include some of the character, the human values. Are we doing it the right way? How many inclusive outcomes? How many people is it actually making a difference around the world? Because there are so many people in the world that are underprivileged. So when a bigger canvas, representing more inclusion, that is extraordinary. And then the next one is that which is ordinary, that which can be is extraordinary. This is so profound. That which is ordinary, that which can be is extraordinary. Anybody wants to do this? I mean, it's in fact, we already talked about Buddha as one of the greatest entrepreneurs.
This is about, this is about seeing potential, about having a vision on leveraging something and creating something out of it, creating impactful things out of it. Here, there's only a rock, but the person who saw it did not just see a rock. He saw the potential to create a beautiful statue out of it. So, and give it a certain form, which is more appealing, which is more useful even in some sense. So it's about seeing that potential and making it happen, having that vision.
Anybody else?
It's just like the banana example they gave us the first day coming in.
Exactly.
Like looking at the inside.
Exactly. And the thing here is, a lot of people, they just assume whatever is there around them, and they assume this is status quo. This is the way the world is. If the roads are constrained, if there are any efficiencies, we just accept the way it is. That is ordinary. It's only those change agent. Then imagining a better experience, here going from that rock to a sculpture and seeing that, better experience. That is one of the fundamental tenets of being an entrepreneur. That always we are dreamers. We are dreamers. We are dreaming about better experiences for yourself and for the people around us. That's going from that side to inside to having a vision and coming up with better outcomes. And this is where the idea starts. In fact, this is the first step in the entrepreneurship, which is like, looking at all the, building an insight about what are all the inefficiencies in your own world for the people around. And like what Buddha did, he just saw a person, which is like somebody who was sick, somebody who's becoming old, somebody who's dead. It's like, wow, is this the inefficiency for the humanity? Now let me actually, dream about a better user. I mean, what is this canvas? Today, we build a lot of companies, and so it's like, a lot of people say it's like, we have 10,000 users, 100,000 users. Buddha's canvas was what? The entire humanity. How many active subscribers that he has? And for how long? Right? This is like, this is a greatest entrepreneur that we know of. See, if you want to do this, the canvas ought to be so big. Canvas ought to be so big. So,
and I think you always have to have that, because if you think about, let's use an example. Maybe you wanted a Nintendo Switch more than anything. All your friends have it. You dreamed of having it. You finally get it, and you look at it, and you're excited for just a second. You set it down and go do something else, because once we achieve our goals, often it's a letdown, and that's why we always need to have something pushing us, and always need to have something that we're striving for. So I love the idea of always having something that can be, even if you achieve your goals, have a bigger vision, have that next step always pushing you.
That's Paul. Thank you, Paul. It's about, first and foremost, is about dreaming a better world. And then, when you're dreaming it, the canvas ought to be so big. I mean, of course, don't feel burdened about it. It's about creating a better world. And then that is what is the think muscle. When you created the thing, then you can actually map it to action items. And then we can actually work backwards. Okay, what is the first step? Maybe let me build a prototype and then go solve it for, my own community. I mean, look at the YEC as an example, right? If you look at YEC, we said like, everybody is a youth. Everybody represents excellence. That's a canvas. But then, which is like, everybody should benefit from a project like YEC. Our canvas is like, 7.6 billion. Is that the right number? I think so. Whatever, right? The total number of population. Everybody should be part of youth excellence. But then the first milestone is we are starting with 14 to 15 kids in a small setting. And then, eventually, with all of us being the entrepreneurs, with all of you owning, like one of the cards, with all of you owning the YEC, and you may create a startup, and that is, some subset of YEC. That's how we're going to prosecute this. That's how we're going to build it. So now that we learned about all the cards, let's land the first card. I think this is, I believe, is the first one in the journey. That which is ordinary, that which can be is extraordinary, is the first step in the 12. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
It all starts with an inception of an idea of a better experience. And then what we'll do is we have Siddharth here. Let's go look at his own journey, how he kind of, created these 12 steps in building his own company. And then depending on the time, we'll come back and, do the thing. And let's see if we do better than 0. Our goal is to score better than 3. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is all good?
I didn't realize there was like a pathway. I was like taking notes.
Yeah. There is actually magic here. There is a magic here, but we'll try to navigate this and the 12 steps. And then we'll actually build we'll all become extraordinary folks. Now that we have one EXO, Siddharth Srinivasan. Siddharth, are you here?